Good afternoon. Tony Dattino. I am the founder of the USA Memory Championship, author of 2 books talking about what are the things we know about our brain that can help us improve our lives, and the president of Dattino Consulting Group. And I do a 5-day-a-week Live with Tony Facebook Live presentation on something that I'm reading or something that I think about from the news that I want to share with my audience. And today's topic is going to come out of the latest issue of New Scientist magazine. It's one of my favorite magazines, and I found it interesting in reading this article, this issue. So let me give you, it's July 11 and 17, The Weight of Gravity. And I'm reading an article in there that basically raises the question, how good is your memory? And as you can see what they've got here, this is like what they're advertising. I'm like, wait a minute, this is our USA Memory Championship. And they're talking about, test 5 different memory skills with this quiz from the New Scientist book, The Brain, a User's Guide, and make sure you have a stopwatch and a blank piece of paper. Study the problem for the time, then close the magazine and write down what you recall with no cheating. So what I found funny, we've been talking, the memory team committee has been talking about how can we put something online that we can do in the age and the era of COVID-19. How can we take people that have been interested in competing in a memory championship, and how can we get them on either Zoom or YouTube or however we do that? We're now working with people that understand the technology a little bit better, trying to see how can we keep the folks that have been engaged, that are mental athletes that want to compete, and see how their memories are and how their practicing is going and how they benchmark. So we've got a call with the team tomorrow evening. Yes, tomorrow, Sunday evening. Some days we work more than just Monday to Friday. And we'll have a call and try to get some things going on that. But what I found is, I found this to be very interesting, because the first test that they gave you was take 4 minutes to study the following 10 words, turn over this page and write them out with an English equivalent. So you get 1 point for each correct answer. So what they have is a list of 10 words, and then they have the same words in Basque. Oh God, I'm going to muck this up. It's B-A-S-Q-U-E language. And so you get, what did you get there for this? 4 minutes. And I'm looking at this, and I did my own practice exercise on this to say, okay, first thing are the people that are going to do this going to have any skills or any techniques that they use to learn what the words are, be it in English or in the Basque, B-A-S-Q-U-E. And so as I'm going through this, I take my Roman room and I start looking at the words. They have white, today, so I'm going to give these words to you now so you can just see what I'm reading off of here. So in the left column, they have the word white, today, 7, leg, cheese, hello, house, bed, cold, and apple. So I would venture to say, if I gave those words to anybody in my audience, and I just gave you to read those words, white today, 7, leg, cheese, without a memory technique, you're going to look at them, and then you're going to try to do the translation back to the foreign language. Well, what's interesting is the current National Science Foundation grant that we've got. Michael Dattino will be working with high school students, 20 of them, and taking them through a technique on how to remember English to foreign words, and they're taking the training and they're looking to bring it to Chinese. So I found it amusing. We got people who are going to take 4 minutes to do this, and if they don't have any proper training and they don't have the skill, taking 4 minutes. Now I would say, if we gave this test to any of our mental athletes that have learned the techniques, 10 minutes to remember 10 words, they'd probably laugh at it, because in our memory championship, they get 200 words, and they get 15 minutes to remember as many of those 200 words as they can. And in our recent championships, we have our mental athletes that are pushing 100 to 125 words that they get to remember in a 15-minute period of time. So that was the one thing that they had. Then they want to jump you over to numbers. So what you get here is you get these numbers, right? So they got a string of numbers. They put, now we don't color code our numbers. We give them strings of numbers, 20 in a string, and they get, 500 digits. And here we go. Give yourself 3 minutes. So you get 3 minutes to learn the following sequence of 20 digits. Then write down as many as you remember in the correct sequence, and you get a mark for each answer until you make a mistake. So it comes right out of our memory championship is what this one pulls out of, except we give strings of 20 digits, and they get 5 minutes to remember as many as they can, up to 500. And we easily, in 5 minutes, are having people go through 200-300 digits. Our U.S. mark is over 500, that we got somebody remembered all the digits in 5 minutes. So I found it amusing that here we are in New Scientist, which I think of as one of my more favorite and advanced science magazines, now talking about the brain, a user's guide for the brain. So here we got a brain user guide packed with fascinating science on everything from sleeping to consciousness to info. I mean, I'm reading all this stuff and I'm saying, okay, you can go buy the brain user's guide, which I'm like, okay, they're putting this stuff in a science magazine, so you go buy the brain user's guide. And I'm saying, I almost want to figure out how to send them a note and say, we've got a online course we'd like to talk to you about. We've put together over the last 21 years on techniques that will make these quizzes that you've put into your magazine look silly. And so now my point is there are skills that we've learned. We've watched people do this, mental athletes that have done this over the last 21 years. And we've taken those skills with the work that Michael Dattino has done, and we've put that into an online course called Maximum Memory Mastery. So it's an online course. We guarantee people a refund if it doesn't work. But I just got a text saying, hey, with the rain outside, I might need to talk a little bit louder, so I'm not sure if that's working. But yesterday I delayed my broadcast because of the showers. Now they're coming in early this afternoon. I don't hear any thunder right now, but we've had rain a couple of times. We're in that rainy season. But let me finish. So we've got, and then my favorite one that they put about. I'm not taking you through all their quizzes here. I'm taking you through the three that hit me. My favorite one they bring up is cards, right? So now they want you to look at these 9 cards. So they're a little bit more generous here. You only get 9 cards, and you have 2 minutes to learn the following 9 playing cards and put them in their position. So here you go, right? So I see the cards, right? And that catches everybody. In our memory championship, we give them 5 minutes to remember the order of a shuffled deck of cards. And they get 5 minutes to recall the whole deck. So here, I think we're being very generous here. In 2 minutes, all you got to do is remember 9 cards that they give you. And here again, have you been taught any techniques or any skills? Our current record for getting through the whole deck is less than 30 seconds for 52 cards. So when I look at what they're doing here with the Brain User's Guide, it just says to me there's a huge market for people that want to really learn how to improve their mental fitness, their mental health, how they can grow their intelligence, and how what we teach is how do you take these skills of numbers and lists. And we've got folks that have taught the Roman room, the loci Roman room method too. And they use it for their shopping. They use it for their shopping. So we're making progress. We're getting there. And through Live with Tony and our social media, and we're getting now more onto YouTube and putting more things into the curriculum for the online course, we will get there. And there goes a bang of thunder that we can hear outside. And I will wrap this broadcast up. But the point of my broadcast today is there are skills that people can be taught. You can practice. So the first thing is, do you believe you can improve your memory? And my answer to that is absolutely. I believe in every one of the people that have gone through our training and our work can absolutely improve their memories. The second thing is there enough of energy and urgency within yourself to where you would want to do that. You want to go out and you'd want to find something that you could learn, and especially in this day of where we're locked in, where you could learn how to do that. And then the third thing that I find is probably the toughest, believe it or not, is do you want to take the time to practice? And that doesn't mean you have to take hours and hours. Some of our mental athletes, they want to be champions. If you want to be a champion in any sport, you're going to put more time into it. I think of that when I watch golfers and how they're putting or chipping or doing whatever. But do you want to take some time? And I always say to people, 15 to 20 minutes, 3 times a week. God, you ought to be able to find that and just take one of the lessons within the curriculum at a time and get your synergy of thinking into a rhythm, and your brain will take over. And I've been paralleling my running times on what I've been doing since COVID and not going to the gym, and how I'm back running on the street, and started with a goal of 13 minutes and running my 30 minutes in that, and 13-minute miles, and how I'm just chopping off every week. I'm chopping off another 15 seconds. So our brains will kick into a rhythm, and you can do more than you ever thought possible. And that's the messaging that I want all of you to get from today's broadcast. And that I did find this, the Brain Users Guide. I said, I think we've got a much more sophisticated user's guide that can take people to do things like this into levels and places they never ever thought they could have the capacity to do. So with that, have a nice weekend. I am back on Monday, and it's 7 o'clock. So we will see you on Monday, and tomorrow I go off to the post office and pick up my new readings for the week. I've already got a couple of things that I want to talk about in different topics, but I reprioritize based on what I get in the current now, what's present in terms of our environment today, and I try to pick those up in my broadcast. So see you on Monday, and somewhere in the 7 o'clock hour, as long as we're not getting hit with thunderstorms and whatever by that period. So let me go see what's going on outside, and have a good afternoon.